iHeartRadio, the man in the arena, the LifeVac radio show, where we explore incredible stories of courage, resilience, and life-saving moments. Here's your host, founder, inventor, and CEO of LifeVac, Arthur Lee, and LifeVac advocate and president of sales, Rick Fatscher.
Hey now, brought to you by LifeVac. It's man
on iHeartRadio, the man in the arena, the LifeVac radio show,
LifeVac,
where we explore incredible stories of courage, resilience, and life-saving moments. Here's your host, founder, inventor, and
hey, listen, go to LifeVac.net, get the original, the authentic LifeVac, and use code MITA, Man in the Arena, to get a discount on protecting those you love. You know, Teddy Roosevelt said, it is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena. You know, I'm joined, my name is Rick Fatscher, joined by Arthur Lee, CEO, inventor, and also Pat O'Rourke.
What's up?
Nice, good, interesting show. Now, we should say this right at the outset. We're taping on a Thursday night in New York, so this show will probably air. It's going out live on Facebook and YouTube, but people around the country are not going to hear it for another few weeks. So we don't want to appear insensitive to anything that may or may not have happened.
Oh, good point.
Right. So we can only talk about things that we know to be true today on Thursday. Arthur, welcome back. Pat, welcome back. We were both, all three of us, down in part of a great big LifeVac Brian Kilmeade History, Liberty, and Laughs tour party.
Best show yet. No doubt about it.
Wow. And you've been to a lot of them.
I have, and I've been blessed to do so. And it was cool to have all our first responder friends there, and it was a thank you to them.
We were in Jacksonville, Florida.
Florida. Yeah, it wasn't snowing like it is here, but
it was 80 degrees and nice.
We're idiots. But
yeah. And people in Florida.
Best show yet.
Thank you very much. And you're a big part of it. What a great showing of support from LifeVac, but also the supporters, the team that you have, not only from up here in New York, but also the network that is down in Florida. And we're going to speak to one of those, both of them, but in particular, Shane Forsman, we're going to talk to in a few minutes. But, you know, Pat, I'll start with you. We've done over 20 of these shows that we do. History, Liberty, and Laughs. Brian Kilmeade, grew up with him. Unbelievable broadcaster, unbelievable man. Of the 20 shows, you know, the word on the street is this was one of the best.
I think, you know, the energy from the election, how the show runs.
It
was down in Jacksonville. Brian owns a house down there, so it was a home game for him, a lot of his friends. Artie, of course, brought out 70, 80 people from LifeVac. That didn't hurt. Yeah, it was a good crowd with good energy, and, you know, they were ready for us, and it was a very good time.
Did you guys feel that it was the best?
Yeah, definitely. Close. Yeah. There's other, you know, but yeah, it was very good.
I thought some of your new material was great. And I thought that your set was really smooth and funny.
Yeah,
not like usual.
Yeah. Well, we've had Arthur was there for Las Vegas, and let's be honest.
Oh, poor Pat.
Technically, we were getting. He
was. I always say. I said it to you. You were the man in the arena. You were the wingman that day.
Flat squirrel.
You were all
the above.
My mic had an echo, and I said, I can't leave the stage until they fix this. Brian can't come out to this. And
yeah, but I was proud of you.
Everyone was yelling at me.
Resilience, right?
Yeah. Well, he took the hits. I mean, he's a wingman. That was his job. I mean, it was, you know, afterwards I kind of thought it was fun because you would die and
you always laugh after. Yes.
Yeah.
Get off! It hurt my ears.
Oh, it's too loud.
Shut up.
Too slow.
Move it down. Move it up.
Now we can't hear you.
Yeah. Oh God, it was brutal.
So in a arena that we hadn't been in before, we suffered some technical difficulties with the sound, and it started with me. Didn't get much better, but Pat, you were taking, as you said, Arthur, taking it for the team. So to make sure that Brian, because let's retrace our steps a little bit, spell it out for the audience. We take part in the show. We help Brian Kilmeade, who doesn't need any help, but we help him bring history to life with these little historical sketches right through his 6 history books. We start with George Washington, we go to Thomas Jefferson, we go to Andrew Jackson, we go to Sam Houston,
yep.
Alamo Avengers, then we go to Lincoln and
But,
Douglas.
But
Yeah.
he's taking history and he's adding some humor.
Mhm.
He's adding some fun. He shows his story of perseverance. I mean, if you're out there listening, you ever want to either see a show or get it,
Inspirational.
it's really a great show, and it's not just a history show.
Right.
You know, it shows what his career was like to fight through the adversity and to come out on top. And I really think it's beautiful that he has you guys, his high school friends, to kind of enjoy it a little and lighten it up. You know, I remember Miss Davis and falling asleep in social studies class, you know, and
Right.
I thought I was going to die from yawning to death. So it really is a fun way to learn hidden pieces of history that were so significant,
Right.
but get no credit. So you're out there listening, Brian Kilmeade Show, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, go to briankilmeade.com. I think the next show is in March. St.
March
Louis,
22nd,
Missouri.
St. Louis. Yeah, but actually, how the origins
Wow,
of the
look how
show.
cool our new thing is.
Brian used to he used to do the show at like book signings and whatnot, and he said, you know, I would just come out and I just wanted more energy at the beginning of the show, so I wanted to. And he thought this all up, and he's like, I'll get my friends to come in,
Yeah.
just get the place going. And then for a while it was just us, and then he would just do his report on each book.
Right.
And then he said to us, I want you to start doing skits in the middle of these books. And we thought, are you out of your mind?
Really, first he said actors. I think we're going to get actors
Yeah.
to act out.
Right.
Well,
like,
what does
like
he
Hamilton.
say? I could hire actors, but instead I'll bring my completely unqualified.
We are trying to keep
friend.
we're trying to keep the budget to a certain level. But we did one the first time, and then the
Right.
next time he goes, I want to do let's do 3. And me and Rick are like, oh god, and now we do 6.
6
Yeah,
each
but
book.
Look, being in the audience, I get a different perspective, and I see the energy change, knowing his unqualified friends are coming
Yes.
out. So it changes the mood. It makes it lighten up, and it's enjoyable to see it in the anachronisms and all.
Yeah,
that
we
stuff.
basically take one scene from each book, and Rick and I act out as Thomas Jefferson and William Eaton in one, all different characters, and we're awful, but it's all in fun. And
Right,
Also
but I
in a
think-
good way.
Yep.
Yeah, but it makes the audience
Yeah.
laugh, and it makes them kind of re-engage in the the lighthearted.
we said to Brian, we're like, are you sure you want to do one for each skit? Isn't one enough? And now he's like, no, they love it. They want you to come back
Yeah,
out. So
But I can tell you from the audience, it makes it a lot more fun, and stops you from yawning to death like in Mrs. Davis.
like he said, he goes, I didn't want to do a book report. I wanted to,
Right.
entertain people. So
And from our perspective, and Pat, I'm sure you're going to agree because we talk about it a lot during the shows and during the rehearsals, is we'll talk about a guy talking about these 6 books from his memory.
Yeah, it's absolutely
He's got
amazing.
He's got a PowerPoint with pictures, but no script, and we learn something new every time.
Well, that ain't hard with us.
no, with him though, he'll pull out another character in one of these books, and I'm like, how does he remember that?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, he doesn't have any books in front of him. He's just talking.
Yeah.
He's rehearsing his part. And he goes, oh yeah, then this general came in and said it. And you're like, again, every time me and Rick go, this guy has a
I was
steel-trap
watching
memory.
rehearsal and I was amazed because
Yep.
he was just kind of going through it.
Mhm.
Nothing.
Right.
Just out of his head. Like, ugh, I think my head's gonna explode.
Now,
so let's we got Shane. He was
Yeah,
there.
so-
and you are there. This is like your guys'
you go.
segment.
You are there. Shane Forsman,
We could bring on someone who wasn't
Pensacola.
there.
Exactly.
But-
But we decided to go with Shane. Shane Forsman, Pensacola, Florida, motorcycle riding events of America.org. Still the longest that I know of, the longest website name. Shane, are you with us?
I'm here, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the Man in the Arena.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, what did you guys have a good time or what? Give me a scoop.
We had an absolute blast, yes, sir. Thank you for having us down there.
You bet.
You
bet.
bring the party. He brings the party.
Are you in the back of a cop car?
Negative. I'm in the front seat of my truck.
There you go.
Okay, that's better. Trust me.
A lot better.
Yes.
What
Ruins the night.
so what was the I mean, I thought the time in between was really cool too, where we were all together at that restaurant and
Yes,
all
sir.
the
It was
things were being shared.
amazing camaraderie. We had a blast. Everyone really enjoyed themselves. They couldn't believe that, that y'all took that good care of us. They were very in awe. They were like, oh my goodness, this is great. So
love-
greatly appreciated.
I love the picture of all you guys in your LifeVac jackets down that whole row. Like that made me very proud and grateful. You went back to the hotel and what? Tell me a little bit about that because I saw the picture. I haven't got to talk to you.
So yes, sir, we went back. Y'all made a donation to Jacksonville Sheriff's Office and the jail for some LifeVac so they can put the test with their training department. Chief Rustivo was very gracious. He was very grateful of y'all's gracious donation to the agency and department. And like I said, he has 2,000 sworn deputies and officers that here soon, hopefully, will be making a large purchase.
Now,
Wow.
and then these I love this guy. So what's coming up too? You got a whole bunch of stuff coming up.
Yes, sir. So when I was down there, I brought up to you, if you remember, we talked about here in Santa Rosa County, our medical director of Santa Rosa County, Dr. Landry, got in touch with the battalion fire chief in Pace, Florida here. And he said they would love to have LifeVacs on every single ambulance they have here in Santa Rosa County. So Mr. Archer's like, you know what? Y'all don't need a sponsor for that. Let me make the donation. So
Do those things.
Yeah.
LifeVac is doing a donation for every single ambulance here in Santa Rosa County.
Oh, amazing.
Way to go, Arthur.
And it's, yeah, Arthur, I mean,
Well,
never
Shane-
ceases to
Shane-
amaze us, the generosity and the
Well,
work.
You know, we saved a kid today. We've saved a couple lives today. It's all priceless. So, but we need men in the arena like Shane that's out there swinging.
Right.
And the thing I love about him and his team, man, they're such enthusiasm, such the simplicity of what we're trying to do. Right.
Yep.
You say go, you got to catch up.
Right.
They already left.
Right.
So
we got Shane Forsman, Shane Weddle, right? Chuck Townsend.
Townsend, correct.
Yeah. Now, how far back does it go? Because it feels like not too long ago
No.
we became close, connected. I know you were at the 3,000 Lives Saved party, you and the team. And so tell us a little bit about Motorcycle Riding Events of America.
So we got started approximately 3 years ago. A group of first responders sitting around a dinner table wanting to put on a charity ride of some sort to help the first responder community when they're in need. So we're like, how are we going to do this? So we just kind of started a think tank that night at a dinner table, and we're like, we got to create an LLC. And then the idea got brought up, we have to create a nonprofit. Because nobody wants to write a personal check to myself or somebody else. They want a tax exemption. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I would write you a check now that I know you.
Well, thank you. That means a lot to me, Rick. Thank you.
And now knowing you guys, I'm sure some beers were involved in that meeting.
yeah, I would think so.
100%, yes, sir. A few mixed drinks, but those were the best ideas are born at, as you well know. So
got written.
So this is based
we
on
created it.
Fort Walton, right? Shit.
Yes, sir. Correct.
Right. And you all.
So now we do charity rides all across the whole panhandle of Florida, and like I said, we're making our way across the coast, agency by agency, department by department. We have donated with sponsors and assistance from LifeVac. We have done over 500 LifeVac so far across the state of Florida. So we're going to keep on pushing until every single school in the state and every first responder has one.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, I think I may be the only charity rider in Pensacola, Florida that almost froze to death because he invites me to the one and it snows the next day and we were riding. It was like, and you say that, people are like, well, that's cool.
Everyone was saying last week, I'm saying, right here, and they go, you weren't here last week. Yeah, I guess it snowed a week or two ago in Jacksonville.
But it was, I'd like to say I did a ride. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, we were freezing.
Well, if you remember correctly, before that, Mr. Arthur, we got hurricaned out.
Yeah.
Was it hurricane or some massive storm came through?
Yeah.
Do you have the gear for that? Like you have the
frozen.
You have the winter gear up here, though, right? You don't bring it down to Florida.
Well, my problem was that I had a high handle bike, So my hands were in the way.
No gloves?
So it was
Yeah.
like, G.I. Joe when he's just got holes
Yes.
and you
Kung fu
slide them
grip.
off.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
had,
kung fu
the
grip.
kung fu grip. But they were amazing. They got me a bike. They got me a place to stay. And we donated to the Pensacola Police Department. Some of their riders came. Those guys are phenomenal. But it's just the spirit. I mean, Shane organized that. We had a death in Pensacola. Last time I was there was because a child died.
Mm.
I went back and we donated units to stop it. So for me, it was a full circle moment, even though I was freezing. But I put up with that.
They're the most generous people, the bikers
What?
and all people. They
Yeah.
are.
Right.
No doubt.
Now, did you know John
said-
Salerno? Did he introduce us to you? Is that how it works?
So that is how it all started, Mr. Rick. Is I did a walk the bridge with Mr. John, and we got to talking, and he saw that we was doing some stuff with LifeVac. And he goes, "Oh, I know Mr. Arthur. Let me put y'all two in contact with each other." I'm like, and at first, I'm a cop, so I'm skeptical. I'm like, yeah, this guy's full of, no, there's no way. Whatever. What kind of spam I'm about to receive in my Facebook stuff, And he's like, "No, here's Mr. Arthur." I'm like, "I'll believe it when I see it." And no, everything has come around full circle, and it is absolutely a God wink.
Yeah,
I'm gonna use your word.
First mention.
Good boy.
Now he's leaning into your life.
Yeah,
Yes.
baby. Let's go. God wings work.
Well, we are blessed to be in your presence tonight and always, Shane. It's just an honor. I know I speak for Arthur and Pat when we're just so proud of all the work that you guys are doing and will continue to do, advocating for LifeVac and things that we didn't even get a chance to talk about. It's not just LifeVacs down there in Florida. You guys are just doing tremendous things. And
Good people doing
yeah.
good things.
absolutely.
Great man. Keep it up.
Yeah, brother. Well, thank you. And hopefully I come right soon when it's warm.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a good evening. Thanks for having me, y'all.
Thank you.
brother.
All right. I love the y'all. That's Shane Forsman. Again, here with Arthur Lee, Patrick O'Rourke.
That's
I'm Rick
everyone down there.
Fatscher.
They're all so nice.
And
aren't they?
stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
She started to choke on a piece of candy.
She wasn't breathing.
Then Ray reached for the LifeVac, and it saved her.
She could have easily died that day. A LifeVac saved her life. What I would say is don't need a LifeVac and not have it. Have a LifeVac and hopefully never need it.
Recently, the American Red Cross has added anti-choking devices as an option when standard protocol fails or is not feasible.
Go to lifevac.net or call 877-543-3822.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody, we're back on The Man in the Arena. I'm Rick Fatscher, along with Pat O'Rourke and, of course, Arthur Lee, CEO and inventor. And from time to time, Arthur, we talk about a character, if you will, the slightly miffed guy. And before we start and get into it, I have to say that you have every right to be pissed.
Well, I think that, we could deviate from the book as a talking topic when something is really important or current or whatnot. But what this segment about the knockoff is the evolution that people aren't aware of,
Right.
and how it goes right to our U.S. Patent Office, right?
Right.
But so I think it's important that I'm the man in the arena. We're the men in the arena. I'm not saying what happens. I'm not Mr. Wonderful saying, yes, people get knocked off. I'm telling you we got knocked off. I'm telling you how it happened and what is happening. Not making it up. I'm not an independent rep discussing the problem and then going home and eating a sandwich. So the theory and what I've learned is, do you guys ever, when you're in the city, you ever see the
Sure.
knockoff guy?
Of course.
Used to buy them for my watches and scarves for my mother. Yeah.
Right,
Down on
exactly.
Canal
Sure.
Street. Yeah.
So the funny story is, do you guys know Tommy Pruitt?
Sure. Tommy Pruitt, everybody.
Oh,
Yes.
Pooh Bear.
Pooh
So
Bear.
he was, the wannabe 80s Gordon Gekko dude, right? So he shows me his Rolex and he goes, check this Rolex out, man. I said, whoa, you got a Rolex? He goes,
Wow.
it's a fake, but you can't tell the difference. As he said the word difference, the crown on the 12 fell into the bottom of the watch and started rolling around. And I said,
Supposed to sweep, not like that.
yeah. I was like, oh, that's a beaut, buddy. And we laughed. But in those days, to get that knockoff, they had to make it in China, ship it in. Someone here had to get it, right? They had to get it and have a warehouse, and then they had to get guys to go out and sell them on the street. You caught it on the street, you probably could go back and get the warehouse and put them out, right? So that was the historic knockoff bags, watches, etc.
DVDs.
But it was a relatively small problem, right? Because you had to have the network of distribution, right? So here comes the internet. Here comes Amazon. Here comes Facebook. Here comes Instagram. Here comes TikTok. Okay. Huge difference, right? This is where it grew up. So now what happens is they're watching Instagram, TikTok, Amazon sales. You sell something, it takes off. They copy it, send it to Amazon. They take your advertising and duplicate it. So they copy your product and your advertising. Can't tell the difference. A little cheaper. What's the problem, right? You have a patent.
Huge.
Okay. Well, the problem, even if it is something with a patent, you can't go after them. They're in China, right? So your patent's worthless.
On average, right? Yep.
90%.
Percentage
The other
don't lie.
the other thing is there's no accountability, right? They're not here. They used to be here. You grab the guy selling the watch and you throw him in jail. That guy's gone. So whatever they want to pick, and Mr. Wonderful there, he said, and he's about right.
Kevin O'Leary.
Yeah, when a product hits about $1 million
talking about me.
on any form, any
Right.
platform, if you get over 1 million views on a product or they watch the Amazon sales, they knock it off. Boom.
Well, you were talking about a grossly underestimate of that number of your neighbor whose daughter created a successful T-shirt. Couldn't have gotten
It's the fluke. And, you know, she made it. A bunch of people liked it. They saw it 2 days later. It was on Amazon for sale, knocked off. No patent or infringement, but it's basically worthless because you can't do anything with it anyway.
Right.
Amazon says we don't get involved in patent. That's your problem. Go after them. You could, because if they were here, you could go after them for patent infringement. You get 3 times the sales. They're not here.
Right.
And your attorney says you're going to sue in China. Forget it. It's worthless.
Not worth it.
Well, even if you did do it and you won, they disappear because something else.
There's a billion of them.
Yeah, exactly.
How does the
if you're a 1 in a million guy, there's a million people just like you.
Yeah.
How does this platform or outlet called Apex help in our efforts or any company's efforts to take things down on that platform?
Let's just take this a little bit further for a second. So now they have this mechanism to record what you're selling and to put it in here scot-free from any form of ramifications.
Right.
So this system is now in. The 50%, I think it's higher now, 55% of sellers on Amazon, 77% of new sellers are Chinese, which you sit there and historically, the reason you made it in China because of cheap labor. So you could make something cheaper. The reason now, because it's automated, we can make this stuff here. It's a machine that punches it out. The reason now is the company here that originated, if it's a medical product approved, it's 10 years, $80 million. If you're here, you have to be liable. You have to be conscious. You have to follow regulations, and you got to advertise. So they lose all that cost. So they wait till you advertise and you spend the research and development and you get it up and working. Then they not copy your advertising.
They take a likeness of you and your daughter.
Oh yeah, I've been on their sites.
Even the ones I've seen, the colors are the same. The email I sent you about, it was some VivaVac or something.
Yeah.
Same colors, same setup, And
they play our videos. They play Ray's video. It's ruthless, but it makes it more and more difficult for the public to know. And the thing is really the price. Now they've crept their price up and they actually start advertising, don't buy a knockoff. It's amazing, right? But so we say, okay, obviously that's not good. Man in the arena, we make a medical product, right? So we are regulated by the FDA and we have to follow these guidelines. We have to prove. They don't. Right. So yesterday there was one on there said FDA approved with the logo.
No one's
I
approved.
would buy that one. Right. So now they are able to not only take all our data and information, but because they skate on all these regulations and rules a lot cheaper, and they can put up advertising that I can't, right? Because I'm not allowed.
Right.
They will come in. They've been in my place twice. They'll be there tomorrow. if
Right.
I put up FDA approved.
Right.
So we have this really bad situation. It gets worse with us. What happened was, so we become successful. We start seeing it. They start knocking it off. That's great. But it's so big, they actually went and got my patent duplicated.
We were going to talk about this. This is insane.
Yeah. But
And-
if indeed
yeah.
this is the case, where I
We have the paperwork right here. We have your patent,
right
which was filed in 2014, and it took
about 4.5 years.
4.5 years. And then talk about the search that if someone's going to file a patent for a similar device,
Well,
what would they have to go through?
Well, I always get, and we just got it on that podcast, and I said, don't bother getting one. And when asked about patent, and many years ago, I did this. I invented a bike that went on the water and it go on your rack. It was kind of cool, but
Did it fit in the treehouse?
no.
Okay.
So, what the first thing you do if you have an idea that you want to get, you think is great and it's patentable, is search like crazy. The Google and the internet is fantastic now because you can kind of do a patent search. Back then, you had to pay an attorney. They sent a scribe to Washington, D.C., went in through the archives and tried to find things that are similar. It's kind of cool experiment because back in the day, they found bikes from like 1816 and stuff that was similar to mine. So that's your first step, patent search. Does it exist?
Right.
If it does, see if it's patented, because then it's not patentable. Well, it used to, unless you're Chinese. Then you can get a patent on anything. Obviously, now is the new world. So the first step is, does it exist? Right? So in 2014, we filed our patent. And now there was a lot of back and forth.
Of course.
And it's expensive. You got to pay your attorney. They said it's similar to this. You got to prove why it's not. And back and forth, back and forth. And finally, they said, okay, you were right. Here's your United States patent.
4.5 years.
Right. And then
in 21.
What do we got here? What's the name? Lu Jihe of it's in Chinese, so I don't know how to pronounce,
right.
Exclamation point, backslash,
Liquid
whatever.
Hue.
They applied the same patent.
In 21, right during the pandemic.
Right. And they were fortunate enough to get primary examiner Justine Yu. Why you?
Yes.
How lucky was that, huh? How lucky. Now,
opposite of a Godwink?
Yeah, well, I guess, it's nice that Chinese got Chinese.
But interesting, you would think that this is the United States Patent Office.
Right.
And a lot of filing fees, right? A lot of fees. And the search part, which is so much easier these days than it was probably back in 2014. Well, it was probably easy in 2014 too, but it's amazing to me that these quality individuals, these experience.
It's not really amazing.
No, well,
that's the primary way you go with something's up.
But how did they miss it? How did they miss?
Because they're Chinese and they own the patent office. It's the only explanation. Because here's why. It's pretty simple. I described, you Google first, you do it yourself. I did it.
Right.
I didn't find anything. I wouldn't have tried to get one. I knew enough that if it was patented, I would either contact them and say, I'd like to work with you or buy it or deal with it, or I wouldn't do it. And I'd just buy whatever was out there. So in 8 seconds of a Google,
right,
they would have seen us. So it's not possible.
It didn't even try.
Well, because we've been on national television. We had sold millions. We had been on Prime. We had been on Inside Dish. We were public, right? So you can't miss it, right? So somehow in their detailed search, and that's in the right side of any patent, it'll say things that they examined that were similar, right? And they said, we researched everything and these things came up, but they're similar but not significant, so we're okay. My name's not in there. That means they didn't even find it in their detailed search.
Right.
So they're watching me on TV as they're trying to figure out if this is patentable. So amazingly, they didn't notice that. And the other really wonderful thing, I guess, if you're Chinese and you apply for the exact same thing as an American-made patent, took me 1.5 years. How is that possible?
Right.
So
fast track.
Not only did they miss what was on TV as they were doing their search, they miraculously were able to process this one in high speed amount of time.
And we got a shout out to Justine RU, but also Kelsey B. Baller, assistant examiner, because not only did Ms. Yu miss it as the primary examiner, she had an assistant, and then a law firm. Now, this is their law firm.
I don't know, but here's the thing:
Oof,
an
gets
attorney.
dirty.
Well, first off, the applicant has due diligence. He's supposed to make sure you're not trying to patent something that's patented.
And
right?
a New
So-
York address, by the way.
Yeah. So he's supposed to do his own. Now, he's not an expert. The law firm is not supposed to just take something that's not patentable. Their obligation is to say, you know, I know, Rick, it's a great idea, but it exists. So we're not going to take your money and go try and get a patent on something. We could, but ethically and in their legal responsibility is to not say, I want to patent a pencil. And you're like, dude, it was like being online at Shark Tank with all these crazy people with, you know, goofy
That
stuff.
kind of exists already.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
that
but
happens
even
with comedy.
That's what I mean. This is like the Mike Lindell My Pillow. If you made another one, oh, we didn't notice that. We didn't.
Yeah, there you
How do
go.
you not notice in LifeVac? It's all over the place.
Right. But that's when the cracks of the mistake come to light, where you couldn't claim we missed it.
I think air quotes mistake.
Yeah. Hey, radio audience, we missed it.
Yes,
Air
exactly.
quotes.
We
'cause
got
we
the
have to-
air quotes
we have
going.
to use our Jim Kerr.
It's visual
describe it.
Sarcasm.
Yes.
Don't
really-
lift weights.
They really try.
Not fit.
I'm not camera friendly. I don't bathe much.
I don't smell good.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, you're listening to Power Work, Rick Fatscher and Arthur Lee. You're listening to The Man in the Arena, and we're talking about the insane situation that exists. And the fact that you're not more
Bootlegging
frustrated
products,
is
yeah.
amazing. The fact that these folks in our patent office didn't even try to look.
Well, are we going
Yes.
to break?
Well, I think we had Donna Marie joining
no.
us, but if she's not,
No, we don't need her.
No,
She-
no.
It's crazy.
you want to go?
But are we breaking? Because otherwise I can keep going on.
No, let's
Yeah.
go.
Keep
Alright.
going.
That was just
So-
a reset, what they call in the trade a
Oh,
reset.
right.
Yeah,
I
just
get
bring it.
confused
bring
because
us
I'm
all
not a
back.
radio guy yet.
No,
Pat,
we're not
did
in the
you
trade.
know-
Yeah,
did
no,
you know
it's-
that was a reset?
Again, sarcasm.
Don't bathe.
Yes.
So, okay. So this all goes down. But let's think about the bigger picture of this unknown entity, right? Who knows that this is going on? Like when I said, don't bother getting a patent, you saw her face. She was like, what are you, crazy? I'm like, seriously, you have to be very conscious whether it's worth it. Because even if it's not a medical product and you don't, you get a patent, it is worth this because they'll just copy it and put it into Amazon. There's a solution, but it involves action by the people who
Yeah,
are
expensive.
getting paid by the
Yep.
people who steal your patent. So it's hard to get them to stop this.
Mhm.
Hopefully we have a new world and we will have a shot. But here's the bigger picture. Think about this. If they can do that to me, right? And they say, this is significant. So if you make a toy thing, they just steal it and get as much money as they can. When you go out of business, they probably go out of business because they don't want to pay for the market. That would ruin their profit margin. So they let you market it. It's cannibalization, right? They eat you as long as they can. They crush you. You'll both die. The host dies. If it's significant and it's big enough, that's when they take this route, right? And think
Get
about
the patent.
Yeah, then they officially get a patent, so they own it. But what if it's a military secret? What if it's a medical breakthrough like this? What if it's an industrial advantage? They come in and steal it in X amount of years. We don't own anything significant.
Right.
We have patents on yo-yos and things that no one cares about because it looks to me they only pick strategically to get this level of corruption, right? You make something small, they just steal it, put it in Amazon, laugh. You make something significant, they pull the patent card, right? But if
Any recourse?
Well, we went after the patent office and they said, nah, we don't think so. So we're going to go after them. We're going after them again. But we can't even get to court till the 26th. So they get free carte blanche for years,
Wow.
right?
It reminds me of an Indian pharmaceutical company I was promoting for Merck. Now, Merck's a fairly big company worldwide. They just decided to launch and produce a product called sitagliptin, Januvia, and they realized they were in clear violation of patents. They just said, it's going to take, you a long
Right.
time.
We'll just sell as long as we can.
Yeah. Thanks. And it was all just very gentlemanly and understood. It made my stomach turn.
Your
My
tummy?
stomach turn. Yeah.
Is your tummy stern ever?
He can't even pronounce it that upset.
My stomach was sterning that night, I tell you, my friends. Yeah.
No, but it's ridiculous. It's
It
20
is.
more months until you can do anything. That's 20 months of them with their hand in your pocket. And then when you do catch them, like you said, they go into the vapor.
Yeah, but think about the extended second half of that. So since, they have that now, but they can go on Facebook, marketing, whatever they want, and say they're FDA approved. They have clinical data. Look at it, saved. There was one today that said they saved 10,000 lives. 10,000 lives. They even existed. We saved 6 the first year.
Right.
But we are honest. But the ability to own this without any rules or regulations, being able to say whatever you want, we are doomed. But the bigger picture is what I'm saying is why it's a threat to national security. Right? You come up with a new missile system, you get a patent, they steal it, now they own it, and you can't make it. They can. And if you want to make it, you got to pay them.
That's why the military's always so worried when a plane goes down. Where'd it go down? And they have detonation now. They blow up their own planes, so these guys can't get their hands on this stuff.
I used to do that on 4th of July. It was so fun.
You were blowing up everything. That's
that's
a whole nother.
That's
a
wrong chapter.
Program.
Wrong chapter.
Listen, we're going to talk more.
Is that where I blow up stuff?
I think we covered that already.
I think
we're going to revisit that. We're going to be back.
That's my thumb. I think it's called.
We'll be back with more of The Man in the Arena after this break.
I'm sorry to bother you, but I have 30 seconds to give you a very important message. My name is Arthur Lee. I'm the CEO inventor of LifeVac, a simple choking rescue device that could save a life in a choking emergency. We've saved over 3,000 lives now, but we're not there. 5,000 people a year choke to death, 1 child every 5 days. Please consider protecting your family in a choking emergency with LifeVac. Go to lifevac.net today. Thank you for your time. She's running. I won't say this.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to The Man in the Arena. I'm Rick Fatscher, Arthur Lee, Pat O'Rourke. We're talking about...
Our mics don't work or a break, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Everything's
we talk behind
up.
Everyone's back.
It'll be fixed up in editing. And we've been talking about
different rating
patent issues, knockoffs, counterfeits. They're all intertwined, and it's a horrible scenario. And I want to introduce someone from the LifeVac family, Donna Marie DiGregorio. Donna, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Donna Marie.
Hey.
All right, welcome to the radio show.
Oh, she's sleeping, kind of.
So we were just talking about your area. And just for folks that might be listening to Donna Marie for the first time, Donna Marie, you didn't come to LifeVac to fight the fight that you're fighting now. How did you start?
So I started originally as like a girl who was gonna do like social media, and it completely backlashed.
Did you do pick it back too? Were you ever out there?
Yeah, at first I was packing and like travel bags and like EMS kits and all that stuff and literature. And then like one day, Mike Singer was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, we need someone on this side to help with. At first it was with like Steve, like to do like some of the legal stuff, and then like if you want to do social media. So I was like, sure. So I came over and it took like a complete 360, and I ended up just taking over like all the legal takedowns of like knockoffs, counterfeits, and working with like lawyers 24/7 to like help move this along. And I really had to kind of be trained on it because I had
you learn a lot yourself. You just learned it.
I mean, I was quick, easy, but
you said it today. How many knockoffs you say are out there right now, and how many have you taken down?
So globally, like right now, we have like a software company we use called Redpoints that scans the entire world. Like globally right now is about 6,000. Right. And that's including like UAE, Canada, Australia, every country you can imagine. And I think I've taken down at least more than that. So I think the number like recently was like 7,500.
Unbelievable.
And I've stopped like $3 million in sales like coming in.
You don't think this is a problem? There's
crazy.
And we didn't even talk about the safety aspect of it. This is wrong from a business standpoint and a moral standpoint, but with the danger too.
With us, it's a safety standpoint for sure. Someone's going to die because of this, and they're not going to know that they didn't get the right product. But as a national security problem, it's that any good is stolen, and then they take it to the next level and actually get a patent too. So Donna Marie's out there swinging, but those numbers, those are the numbers, thousands.
And it's every
Those
day.
aren't even the big ones. Like, we're working right now on trying to get the big ones down, which is another process. And there's like ways you kind of have to go about it legally. But I mean, the Apex program on Amazon has helped us significantly because it removed all of the LifeVac lookalikes and even another brand that's on there without having the brand name. So far, I think this week, as of today, I removed 27 of those off of Amazon in the last week, and I've stopped about 15,000 units per month being sold through all of these.
Good for you.
But think about 15,000 units that could kill your kid.
Right.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous. But the other thing that, is to keep in mind that that's a significant risk to the public's health. Now, we researched to some extent that Amazon is aiding and abetting a criminal enterprise, because in our world, if they steal your cup, Amazon really criminal, right? You have a patent gig with them. But in the medical world and with the drug you were talking about, that's illegal, right? So Amazon is selling and promoting it. Now, our goal is we don't want to fight Amazon. Let's squash this like a bug. We want them to know that what they're doing is illegal.
Right.
Right. Because they're supporting an illegal product. It's called aiding and abetting.
Aiding and abetting.
So we've tried that and it doesn't work, but that's like everything we do, but it will, because we never quit.
Right.
But why the part where it takes so long? That's the part that shocks me.
Yeah. Well, the problem
take
with
it to court immediately.
The problem with this
Backload
route is, trust me, when down this road, when you get there, the federal judge tends to go with the federal agency. So you're dead anyway, right? So, but if we can raise awareness, right, not just for us. See, this would be my battle. If I made a pocketbook, I wouldn't be talking about it. It's my problem. I'll deal with it. And we've dealt with it. But when they stole the patent, I said, this is a country problem.
It's a bigger picture, right?
Because if it's big enough, technology, industry, medical, military, they're stealing. And eventually they will own us without us knowing it at all. Very few people know that 50% of the guys selling on Amazon are Chinese and 70% of the new ones, right? So we used to go to the mall and buy junk. They got taxed. It was in the U.S. It was imported. People had jobs. They sell it. No tax. Goes right out of the country.
And goes in their pocket. Makes them stronger.
So for the folks listening in L.A., in Houston, Orlando, and New York, and in addition to all of those folks seeing it live tonight, what can the consumer, the customers, the LifeVac Nation do?
Well,
and it's not just for us.
They got to be
everything.
conscious, first off, right, to just research. It's very difficult, but go to LifeVac.net in our case, and we'll continue the battle. The second case is publicity and contacting the Justice Department, right? If we get the Justice Department to investigate the patent office, they got to explain to someone other than me why they gave my exact patent to a Chinese company, right? And it's harder for them to defend themselves because the guy says, yeah, I saw it on TV. How did you miss that?
Right.
And why does this Chinese company get it in a year? It took you 4. And how did you miss them?
Right.
So if that's the scenario and that's how it works out, once they get caught, then you can just say, all right, we'll cease and desist, and there's no penalty, no nothing. They just walk away.
Because they have a patent, I can't go after them for patent infringement.
Wow.
They got carte blanche till we get that knocked out. But on the bigger picture of being an American and making it here, because they don't make it here, and they don't have to care if it kills you because you can't sue them because they're in China. So they don't have to worry about quality. They don't have to worry about the FDA. They don't have to worry about recourse. What was some of those things? I bought it and I wanted to return it, and they just told me no.
Yeah, like people tried to send them back and they wouldn't even answer. Or one girl said she tried to use it on her son because there was a popcorn kernel lodged in his throat, and thank God it wasn't a full obstruction. But she said that if she had to use the device, it would have failed.
It fell apart. And what is a popcorn? Is
the kernel?
My accent.
That's a special snack that Jennifer has at the house for
kids
the kids.
eating puppies now. This is not. We need to change that first.
Now, you also, Donna Marie, you also buy, you call them test buys.
Yeah, test buys. It's like a test purchase. So you purchase one of the devices from the knockoff or the counterfeit, and you kind of like look at it yourself and do your own. Some platforms require a test buy, like Amazon does.
So you test it
But then
in
we
order
get
to prove that it's
seal-
garbage.
We get she has to. Well,
Yeah.
you have to prove intellectual or.
Yeah, I have to prove. But the Apex, you have to prove it's infringing on our utility patent. But if it's an exact LifeVac lookalike, so the counterfeit is something that you can't tell the difference. So people make actual LifeVacs where you can see it's like you would not know it's not a genuine LifeVac. You literally have to take it apart and like look at like the valves and like the different color screws and realize that it's not. And then you can submit it through Amazon CCU with photos of the test buy, and they can help remove it.
But in that process, the really wonderful new one is they use a toxic glue. So not only this is the ironic thing, when it falls apart, the glue can come off and be a choking hazard. So they can actually sell you something that you choke to death on.
Wow.
But luckily they're Chinese, so you can do whatever they want.
Toxic glue. I wonder if that was the George
That'd be a good
Costanza.
band name.
What? Toxic glue?
Yeah.
The Toxic Glue Avengers.
Nice.
Well, Donna Marie, we appreciate you so much for all that you do and continue to do. Go get some
Love
takedowns.
it.
Great job.
Yeah. No,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Even the warehouse. Now she's head of legal.
Well, you know what?
It's an American story.
This kind of goes back
Absolutely.
into like wingmen and the character. Like I tell you the story about the butcher I interviewed, and he couldn't do anything, but I knew he was a good man. He had good work ethic. She is that person.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
She will learn any. All right, she's our expert. She spoke in front of an expert panel, and she was the star. And she was in our warehouse 2 years ago.
Right.
William Carnegie started out as a clerk.
I was a truck driver. Did you ever drive a truck?
Carnegie? Yeah, I don't.
No,
think
I
truck.
was.
Oh, you were. Yeah, but I'm saying a lot of
Yeah.
great
Oh,
people.
yeah.
They start out
Yeah.
as
Doesn't matter where you
people
start.
Sees this talent. People see the talent, and that's where they
Well,
flourish.
Shackleton, his interviews were 30 seconds, and he picked a crew that survived the most unbelievable thing, and it was all character. He was able to pick who could persevere and hang in and get along and all that.
And who wouldn't eat each other?
Yes, that was not good on the Shackleton. That was forbidden.
And who was that
Mhm.
meat packer or butcher?
My friend Pat.
Yeah.
His name was Pat.
I heard about the butcher backed into the meat grinder. Yeah, he got a little behind in his work.
I knew that was going
Whoa.
to be really bad.
And on that note, we're going to be right back after this message. You're listening to The Man in the
Mr.
Arena, and we'll be
3000.
right back with Mr. Ray Priebe, Mr. 3000.
I was in the living room when I heard my son Carter, who was 2 at the time. I looked over and I saw him grabbing for his face and his throat. I grabbed the LifeVac. I put the mask on his face and placed push-pull. The LifeVac dislodged the ice cube from his airway and he started crying. The most amazing sound I've ever heard in my entire life. Please protect your family. Get a LifeVac.
Hey,
We're all gonna
LifeVac
be-
Nation, we are back on The Man in the Arena. We've been talking about some frustrating things for you, Mr. Lee.
Well, it's for our country. Otherwise, it'll
Absolutely.
be my fight. I'll fight my fights. But
Very
this needs
interesting.
visibility because it will secretly take us over. And it's not a guess. They own our technology. They own innovation. We're dead.
The old expression, you don't even know you're bleeding until you move.
Yeah, good one. Where'd you get that from?
My brother Jimmy uses it all the time.
Jimmy LaFleur.
Yes.
Does he
Oh
go
my
by
God.
O'Rourke?
O'Rourke, yes.
He goes by. They
What-
all go.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you hear about their family get-togethers? That sounded like
Oh,
the
yeah,
funniest
goodness.
freaking
That's every
thing
summer
ever.
up at the Cape, yes.
Oh my god,
That's a whole nother show.
Have you ever heard of it? Yeah, we should do that on the show. It was so funny.
Our family vacations.
Well, I've compared the O'Rourkes to the Murray family. That's what it reminds me of.
The Murray?
Bill Murray, Brian Doyle Murray.
Oh, okay, yeah,
and like
yeah.
because they're all funny and they're all great guys. And I've known Pat forever. I've known his older brother Kevin almost as long, if not longer. And great family, funny family. His mom was hysterical.
Yeah.
Was she their comic?
No, she was
I-
much more of a straight man, but she did
Well,
a
she
lot
was
of
in
funny
good
things.
shape, man. Good
Yep,
shape.
yeah,
man.
yeah, yep, and very funny. Yep.
I remember what she wrote on your cast. I'm not going to bore everybody because we could do the Birchland alma mater, or we could do what his mom wrote on the cast.
What was that?
You remember?
Go
You
ahead.
jumped up high.
You remember these things.
You
know,
jumped
that's
up
what I
high.
remember.
You came down and broke a bone. Baby, you ain't no Moses Malone.
There you go.
Are you serious?
And he was a big player at the time.
Your mother wrote that on
Oh,
your
my
cast?
mother's, yeah.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a story about my mother. We'll tell it another time. We got
Okay,
to get to
that'll
Ray,
be
but
fun.
Yeah. Waiting in the wings. We talk to him each week. Mr. Ray Priebe, he saved his daughter Maya, 2 at the time, on the side of a Florida highway. It just so happened to be our 3,000th life saved. And we join him. Oh, he joins us from Cape Coral, Florida, Mr. 3000.
3,000.
Good evening, guys.
Raymond.
Hello, America, and thank you for tuning in to LifeVac television and radio.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I've been so busy. I don't even know where we're at. So I'm actually looking forward to knowing because
We got to start the 4,000 pool.
I usually, we
Right.
do.
Every week, for those listening, we talk to Mr. 3K, and he gives us the update on lives saved with the actual.
I know.
Well,
And
give
we
us
have the update. Bobby, roll that footage.
I had an update from Saturday. You kept showing me.
3,578. 3,239 children. Ray, I was stealing
you
it.
got
Guess what?
You
But
got
wait,
a highlight.
there's more.
There's more.
That number is
Wait, there's
wrong
more.
because just tonight, just an hour ago, Donna sent me a text message with an update of a 15-month-old baby that was choking on some berries who was saved by the LifeVac. So it is 3,579 total saves,
Wow.
2,240 kids.
How many this week, Ray?
This week we have
The math.
12 this week.
12? Very good. We had like 4 on Saturday.
Yeah.
We're
You know what?
rolling, baby.
While Ray does the math, we're going to have to thank Donna
I
Yeisley.
see smoke coming out of his ears.
who
That's
is the
right,
keeper
that's
of all
right.
Information of saves, and she preps Ray each week,
Yeah,
and they love
That's
talking
how
to
I
each
get
other.
updated.
Yeah.
So you got do you have a special one, Ray?
I do have a special one. Let me go ahead and bring that one up. All right, February 18th, 2025, number 3,574. And it also happens to be the 2,236 child saved is a 1.5-year-old female that was choking on an apple. Here's the details from the parents. She was having an apple for a snack in front of her parents and started choking on her second bite. Mom is CPR certified and a former EMT. She started to administer backflows, but they were not effective. Dad retrieved the LifeVac from the kitchen, she started to turn pale and foaming at the mouth. Mom used the LifeVac and the apple was dislodged on the second try. I'm 100% thankful that I put this item on my baby registry after seeing it online. I'm very happy we familiarized ourselves with it prior to the incident, as time is so precious in an emergency.
Wow.
Hey, when you read that, and and we say, please get trained. You could do it right away. The Red Cross is awesome, and they will recommend LifeVac if it doesn't work. Don't you still get a chill when you read that?
Every one of the saves that I read or see, it creates this memory of when
you need it.
That feeling will never leave a parent.
But I think we got to use that in a passion, and I know you do. And I'm so grateful that God gave us you for 3,000. But when I hear them, and especially when I hear the color change. Now I've seen 3,000
and frothing, and
I get the color
that's
too.
a
and
panic time.
CPR
Don't panic.
certified.
Yep.
There's sometimes we clear it, and you think maybe would have cleared, but the black and white ones, man, when your color's changing, you got minutes, and to think that baby's still there,
right?
So you know what? We'll fight bad. We'll fight everyone. Who cares?
Especially with the young kids, they won't even remember.
And again, that's why I'm here every single week. That's why I'm here every single week, because I know if I didn't have it, the odds of Maya surviving were slim to none.
Yes.
Hey, quick thing. Did you have fun in Jacksonville?
I had the best time. It was a great weekend. I
How'd you
got
like,
to meet Pat for the first time. It was amazing.
How'd you like meeting Brian?
Amazing. Loved the entire show. I mean, I don't know who he had for a cast. He might want to work on maybe some new actors in the future shows. Just kidding, guys. They were awesome.
Yeah,
were great.
Promoted.
You know
I didn't know Jefferson was that big.
Well, you got to get that in next week.
That's where he says you look a lot like
Nathan.
Yes.
Yes,
You get that.
that was so funny.
But Ray, give us your saying, my friend.
Okay, here we go. Well, I'm going to give you this. Since October 20th, when I was blessed with the ability to save my daughter, that was 123 days ago. We have 579 saved in 123 days. That is amazing. And folks, LifeVac, have it and don't need it. Need it and have it and don't need it. Your life could depend on it. Because again, you can use this on yourself.
You can use it on yourself.
We had
over 70 people.
We had a FaceTime call with Dr. Ben Carson. He said that. I said, you've been watching us because he said that to me. He said Ray's line.
Wow.
Nice.
Ray, you better copyright that, my friend.
And then you can sue me.
I'm going to need to. I'm going to have to put a patent on that.
Yeah, you do that.
Ray's going to be the breakout star of this show.
Mr. 3K. Mr. 3K, got to
Love you, Ray.
that. Yeah. You're the best.
Love you guys. God bless. We'll see you next week.
All right. Paul and Mr. 3000, and you say it all the time, and I completely agree. Could you think of a better
that was
representative? So the 3000th Live Save event, the actual number was Mr. Ray Priebe saving his daughter Maya, who's, I mean, they're all beautiful and cute. All kids are, but Maya is really special.
Maya, he's putting it up, and she came flying across and tripped and went
Pete Rose,
and she jumped up like wee.
Right. The other
That's your
detail
next
of that
invention,
story.
the exploding airbag for
Exploding
humans.
airbag for the car.
If you're falling, just on you.
But the other thing that I remember
Especially
about that
if you don't have
story
the clapper.
that impresses me is that in the earliest interview with Ray, he said he said something like his thought was people don't generally help. But in that case, two other motorists on the Florida highway came over to his car.
Well, that's
with
why I always
LifeVac,
say
so,
anyone could save a life.
Yeah.
So carry it. Save someone else.
Absolutely. Please go to lifevac.net. Don't mess around. We talked about knockoffs and counterfeits and all that. Get the real one that's going to be the one that you know is going to work in an emergency.
Oh, wow. Cool.
LifeVac.net.
LifeVac.net. Don't mess around. Don't take chances.
And get the gear.
Yeah. And use the code, by the way, use the code MITA. It stands for Man in the Arena, but MITA, get yourself a discount. 15% off non-sale items. Code MITA.
Nice.
MITA. So
Mita.
another great week, another great show. I was concerned, but and I said this up front, you have every right to be incensed, not only because of what they're doing in terms of a patent with LifeVac, but the bigger picture, what they're doing to our
it's
country.
It's like sharing my tragedy. It's painful, but people got to know. Some
Right.
poor guy goes out there, spends his time, money, gets a patent, and gets crushed. So you got to know that's not worth it. You need to be very conscious.
You're lucky to have this platform. You know how many people probably started
That's
businesses
what my
and have been
point.
totally crushed?
Yeah. And the poor guy is sitting there. So we will take the arrows like Pat did in Vegas and persevere.
Stop bringing that up.
Stop.
Sorry, Pat.
It's dramatic.
So then we have to face these things. We have to talk about it.
And we have to keep going.
Yeah.
You're listening to Arthur Lee, Pat O'Rourke, and I'm Rick Fatscher. You've been listening to The Man in the Arena, and we will see you next week. Be sure to tune in.
Thank you.
Thank you. Keep going.